thing that we're going to do in this lesson, lesson 1.2, setting up an algebraic equation to problem solve. And these are the steps I want you to use. Okay, so here's the expectation. I'm setting up the expectation for you right here. And I say, number one, pick and describe a variable. So you get to pick the variable. Sometimes they don't say, let it be C or let it be M, or they let you pick it. So pick and describe a variable for the thing that we're looking for. What's the thing they're asking you to find? Then set up an equation using that variable. In other words, that variable you picked better show up in your equation. That's what makes our equation algebraic. That's what helps us solve it for the unknown. And then last but not least, you're going to solve the equation, and we know what to do to solve these. We know how to show work for that, right? So the expectation is you're going to pick and describe the variable. You're going to set up an algebraic equation that has that variable in it. You're going to solve that equation, and then there is one last thing that we'll discover that we do at the end also. Okay, so here's our one problem we're going to practice today. It's the only one we're going to do. Mary deposited $50 into her bank account. Anybody in here have a bank account? You do? Okay, awesome. Is it a checking account or a savings account? Or do you have both? Maybe. Both? Okay. So she put $50 into her bank account. It doesn't say whether it's a checking account or a savings account, but she's letting it be safe in the bank. She now has $230 in that bank account, right? Write and solve an equation to find out how much was in her account before the deposit. Write and solve an equation to find, and right there, typically they're going to give you the unknown. How much was in her account before the deposit? So I already decided that our variable is going to be x, okay? So we're going to say x is, or in other words, you're going to write down let x equal or let x be, however you want to write it. What do you think x is going to represent in this problem? Julia?
The amount of money that was in there before she put the $50 in.
Yeah, so the amount of money, we'll use the dollar sign, okay? Amount of dollars in her account before the deposit. We don't even have to say $50. We can just say before the deposit. We know how much she deposited, but so x is going to be the amount of money in the account before the deposit. So when you write an equation, I should be able to go to your paper and look and see what's that variable in their equation representing? What's it standing in there for? Standing in there for, how many people were at the game? Is it standing in there for how many children come to the after-school program? What is it? What is that variable standing in there for? Okay, now let's write an equation using that variable. So anybody think they know an equation that we could possibly set up? What do you want to try, Devontae?
X.
Okay, the amount of money she had in her account before,
Plus 50 equals 230.
plus the $50 deposit should equal how much she has in her account after. What do you guys think? Think that sounds pretty good? Okay, so x plus 50 equals 230. Would that be the only possible way to set up this equation? What do you think? Think there's some other ways?
Yes.
And I'd have to count them, right, as long as I have the variable in it? Okay, anybody want to come up with another one? Just another way? Well, you don't have to write them down necessarily, but let's just explore what are maybe some other ways. Cody, what's another way we could write that equation?
230 equals x plus 50.
Okay, 230 equals x plus 50. That would work. Okay, anybody got another one? Funny thing is, students that don't want to use the variable in their equations do what they go right to what is the operation I need to do to get this, and they do that and give the answer, and there's no variable. So think of it that way. Cody?
Do 230, no. 50 plus X equals 230.
Yeah, that works too, because you can, in addition, we can trade them around. Oh, what property allows us to add in any order?
Commutative.
Commutative. There's a commutative property of addition also. Add them in any order you want. Okay, well, so you guys, seriously, this is it. All he's doing is doing some rearranging here right now. Hey, can anybody think of any other ways that you guys might come up with that I'd have to count right because it would be legitimate? Julia?
X equals 230 minus 50.
Yeah, I couldn't count that wrong. The amount of money in the account before is equal to the amount after take away the $50 deposit. Can't count that wrong. So there's more than one way, but notice every single time what's in the equation? X. X is in the equation every single time. Not 230 take away 50 equals and give the value right away. That's not an algebraic equation because the variable would be missing. Okay, we're going to solve the one that we first set up, the very first way, which was the green one. So let's write down the equation that we agreed upon in the beginning. And let's show our work solving it. What would we do to solve this, Noah?
Take away 50 from both sides.
Yeah, we have to subtract 50 from both sides. Thank you. Subtract 50 from both sides to keep the equation balanced and to undo the addition. And we get x equals what? Can you do that without a calculator? Sure we can. $30 take away 50. Okay, what do you think, Abby?
X equals 180.
180, that's right. X equals 180. Okay. So here's the last thing that we're going to do. We're going to learn how to incorporate English into mathematics. We're going to spell correctly, we're going to write proper sentences, we're going to answer the question that was put before us. And the question put before us was, what again? What was the question? Go back into the beginning. What did they want us to find?
How much was it per account before the
Okay, so what's her name? Mary. Okay, so let's start. Mary had what? How many dollars in her? $180. There's where I'll let you don't have to write this out in words. I'll let you do it like that. Mary had $180 in her account before the deposit. And again, you don't even have to say what the deposit was. You don't have to say how much there is now. You just have to answer the question they asked. How much was in her account before the deposit? Mary had $180 in her account before the deposit. Proper sentences have what? What do they start with?
Capital letter.
Capital letter. Even if it isn't a name, it still starts with a
Capital letter.
capital letter. We're not texting here, okay? Or leaving someone an email like that. And how do we end sentences?
And period.
Does it always have to be a period?
No.
Punctuation of some sort, right? Oftentimes that's the period, the punctuation mark, but it isn't always. And so I expect you to be able to write sentences, spell nicely, all those things in mathematics too. Is that too much of an expectation? Okay. So any questions? Okay, let's get out a sheet of loose leaf paper.